Right, welcome to podcast 13 of The Working Man. I've got Hodgie again here today. Probably be about as useful as he was last time, which is a zip. But anyway, it's nice to have him in the studio with us. Today I've got something a little bit unusual. I call it the $50,000 1% daily challenge. Call it the 1% challenge, give it whatever name you want. But I thought I'd do something a little bit different. So you hear me always banging on about how small savings regularly added together, aggregation of marginal gains, I call it, can add up to a large amount. And here's a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a thing, something that you can do just to see whether or not this is something for you. Now, if you're on a super tight budget, this might not work for you. But if you're on a decent, normal family budget and you're not saving much, this might be a little tip or a trick that you can do to start saving money. Okay, so with your brain, it will understand that 1% of anything is not very much. So most people, when they're trying to get from pay week to payday to payday, they have a certain amount of money that's there for their groceries and their entertainment and so forth. And quite often what happens is you're working to that amount. So if you've got that amount left, then that dictates what you spend at the shops on entertainment and in other areas. Okay, so what you do and what this little challenge is about is that you every day you open your banking app or your internet banking and you look at how much you've got for the rest of the fortnight or month, whatever you're working to, and you take 1% of that and you move it into your investment account. So it's not very much. And you probably, it's not a lot of money, but doing that over the next 14 days or the next 30 days can add up into a decent chunk, which then you send at the end of the pay week, end of the pay fortnight, end of the pay month, you send it over to your investment account. And then when it builds up to something substantial, a few $100s or more, you then go and invest that. And over time, over 10 years, if you invested in something that returns around 10%, which is what your average share fund or portfolio makes, you end up with $50,000 if you start with a sum of $1,500 a fortnight to use as your amount that you invest. Okay, so if you go onto my Substack page, there's an article, I've just dropped that, about this. It walks you through step by step, but it's this simple. Let's say you have $800 in the bank. You just move that decimal point 2 places over. So $888, and that's what you move for the day. So if you've got $800, you'll move $8 into your investment account. Doesn't sound like a lot. You're doing this every day. As the weeks and the days start to progress and you have less and less money to spend, well, the amount you're moving is less and less. So it feels less. Like it's not like you're doing $15 on the first day and $15 on the last day. The last day might only be $1 or a few cents that you're moving over. And because it's only 1% every day, these small chunks will add up. I show the working out there in the Substack article. It goes through step by step as to what will happen after a fortnight and then what that might look like after year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And after 10 years, there's well over $50,000 there. Okay, a few assumptions there. Obviously, standard. It's not financial advice, blah, blah, blah. This is just to show you that the aggregation of small gains, things, this 1% every day, which doesn't sound like much, will add up over time, consistently put away, will make you some big money, serious money. And you do that over and over again, and suddenly you've got a lot of optionality. This is what I'm talking about. Why do I keep going on about this? Wealth brings you optionality. Okay, so you're trying to build, most people build their wealth through a couple of pretty standard things: their principal place of residence, their house. As they're moving through their lives, they're paying down the house and the house is rising in value because of inflation, and they build up some wealth in their principal place of residence. The problem with that is if you want to access that, you either have to borrow against it or redraw. And if you're borrowing, against your house, even though you get a decent interest rate, you still got to pay interest. There's risk involved with borrowing. Every time you borrow money, you have to pay it back. You've got extra repayments you have to make. It actually drops the amount of money that you earn. Okay. So if you're building up assets outside of your home and your superannuation retirement account, that's money you can access at any point, and you don't need to go to the bank with cap in hand and say, can I borrow some? I think it provides optionality. It also provides, you can say, well, I could just pay it off my house loan and I can put it in my redraw facility. And yes, that's good. That's a pretty standard way of going about it as well. The problem with that is there's probably not enough friction to keep you investing long term. So people build up their redraw facility, and then it's very easy just to take it and go and buy a new car or holiday or whatever. There's just not quite enough friction there that I find psychologically for people to invest for long term. So if you're buying my favorites, shares, gold, Bitcoin, whatever, stuff like that, when you're buying those investments, what happens is there's another couple of steps of friction when you want to get your money back. You can get it back quick. It's all very liquid markets, but it stops you generally from short-termism and just thinking you can just go and get it. So I encourage everyone to lower their costs, and I provide plenty of instruction about how to do that with almost no change to your lifestyle, how you can reduce your costs, find this extra money, invest it, and then that improves your life, improves your optionalities. You sleep better. You've got a bigger safety margin in your life for anything that might happen. And yeah, your life gets better. The more you invest, better and better. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a go if you like it. The $50,000 1% challenge. That is at the start of the pay week. You take 1% of the money you've got to live off once you've paid your bills. You got a certain amount you got for groceries and fuel and entertainment and whatever else you want to get up to. And then you move 1% of that every day into your investment account and do that for the fortnight, 30 days, and see if you can live off what's left. You're only taking little chunks out every day. And as the fortnight or the month gets close to the end and the balance starts to reduce because you're spending it, the amount that you're moving gets dramatically smaller. So it's less and less painful as the month goes on, as there's less and less money. Nice little challenge. Starts to get you thinking differently about money. Let's see how we go. All right. Hodgie's fallen asleep. Time for me to go to the gym. You'll probably notice I'm banging out a lot more of these. I'm on holidays, so we're going away. But before that, I thought I'd get in and do a lot of these little thoughts, a little of these patterns that I'm thinking about, get them out to you guys, see what you think. All right. Let's get to it. Ciao.